No matter where you go, no matter what you do, take that Maui style with you. Cause if you ain't Maui styling, you just living on an island. Maui styling, don't let me down. 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 There is sunshine in your heart. It's been with you from the start. Lift your head, look to the heavens, then you will feel brand new again. Don't stop me now, Maui styling, don't let me down. 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 Reach out your hand and help each other. Your mother, your father, your sister and brother. There is love in this family. Pick yourself up and get on your feet. Don't stop me now, Maui styling, don't let me down. 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 Makena styling, up country styling, Kaupo styling, Kahanapali styling, Hana styling, Waihu styling, Bahia styling, Keanai styling. Maui styling, don't let me down. 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 Maui styling, Maui styling, don't stop me now. Maui styling.
Hey, Guy. Hi, Wally.
Case also an indicator of some problem.
Aloha. Ah, beautiful horsewoman. Hey, Fred.
Hello, good morning.
Dr. Fred Eckfeld. Say hello to the people of Maui and Hawaii and wherever else this is playing.
Well, I hope it plays everywhere in the islands and then goes beyond.
Well, thank you for having me out. We're going to walk around this beautiful place here in Maui, Hawaii. Tell us where we are and what we're going to do today.
Well, we're on this beautiful 1,000-acre plantation of macadamia nuts. It belongs to John and Angie Varell, and you're going to see some scenes today beyond what I'm doing with the horses that are spectacular views. And here comes one of our individuals right now.
Ah.
This is Takal, and this is Jill Fairchild, trainer.
Hi, Jill. Aloha.
Aloha.
We need some power. So
Boy, that was fun walking under his neck. I would never have thought of that. I would never be there. Okay.
So Tikal is a Lusitano gelding from Brazil, and we recognized about 6 months after he arrived on the island of Maui that he has a bizarre condition called the head shaking syndrome. And that syndrome originates from up here and causes extreme pain in his head. And the symptomatically to this horse, it feels as though he has bumblebees up his nose. So that he gets stabbing pains whenever his blood pressure rises or begins to go to work. He'll start flipping his head downward, and several times it's hurt so much he's actually struck himself with his front legs in his jaw. So we've been working to relieve this. We've contacted every available vet that we can get to. We've researched it on the mainland and internationally. It is a situation that is showing in horses kind of akin to the way autism is showing in children. and it can possibly be traced to contaminants, pesticides, mercury, heavy metals. Really hard to diagnose and figure out where it's coming from, so symptomatically we're trying to relieve him. It's made him unrideable because as soon as he gets warmed up, he's in pain. So we can't really ride him. I do a lot of entertaining with this horse. He's become kind of my liberty horse because play is so important in the animal's life that they get attention and interaction. So I've come up with things that I can do with this horse to make his life very, very worthwhile. So Fred is here, and he is our best option yet on helping this horse out.
Mr. Best Option.
Yeah.
What is he doing? I guess he's going to show us and tell us
He's
in a
gonna tell
moment.
you.
Well, thank you for walking me through.
Yeah, sure.
Tikal, huh?
Tikal.
What does that mean in English, for example?
Tikal is actually a South American name. It has to do with the ruler of the Mayan Empire. And the capital of the Mayan Empire in Guatemala is Tikal, Tikal.
Ah,
So that's what his name means.
okay.
Mayan king.
He looks like a Mayan.
Yes.
Do anything though.
He does, huh?
Yeah. Come on.
Okay. I don't think he needs makeup, but a little haircut's good.
Yeah, see? Just so he doesn't look kind of sloppy.
He's such a good guy.
He is. He is the most wonderful horse.
Here's Dr. Fred. So you're programming a laser. I know we'll talk about it, but I'm just watching you.
And putting in frequencies that are specific for the tissue that we're treating.
I see. So frequencies that can penetrate certain
Well,
tissue and what you want to do with it.
Right. These, this laser and the other one over there that I will be using most of the time. Just gonna leave that there for right now.
All right.
They're they're lasers that I have gone to because of their flexibility. Since they are tissue specific, I can program the lasers with tissue specific frequencies.
Wow.
In other words, without getting scientific about it, all mammals function, or let's say this way, the cells of our body communicate by way of light. Now when I was in school, telephone ringing, when I was in school, we were taught that the body system communication was through the nerve system and the chemical part of the body. Subsequent to that, from so many years ago, science has discovered that the cells of our body, by virtue of this, when the ovum is fertilized, when the egg is fertilized, it gives off light measurable at a certain wavelength.
Mm-hmm.
Okay? And so the lasers that I use are right there in that same area with the wavelength. And there we pulse that. It's a continuous wave light. The distance from wave to wave, peak to peak on a wave, okay, is measurable, certain nanometers. And so the cells of the body communicate that way. but different organs of the body have different frequencies that ride on that wave. For example, the brain, the heart, the liver, kidneys, pancreas, the gut, musculoskeletal system, all have their own separate frequencies riding on that. All those cells communicate at different frequencies. Okay?
Wow.
So what we're doing, when we use the laser, what we're doing is we are actually putting energy into the tissue that the tissue knows. The tissue knows the frequency to operate with. When we have injury, illness, or recovery from surgery, the tissue that's involved is not in normal communication. So what we are doing, in essence, is rebooting that part of the body to reinforce it. And as a matter of fact, after 20 minutes under an electron microscope, you can see increased activity.
Wow.
Yeah. So the fibroblast is more activity within the mitochondrial DNA. It gets excited. You can actually see this.
And
I've witnessed it myself, looking.
And I don't know how many people know that the mitochondria is literally the factory in the cell, so it really is the repair center. That's great.
Well, that's right. And so when you get a case of the mitochondrial DNA being more active, you're going to see the laying down of new collagen tissue, repaired tissue.
Fantastic.
Fibroblast laying down new
Boy,
tissue.
this is cutting edge stuff.
Yeah, it is. And simultaneously reducing any inflammation that's there as well.
Wow. So you're going to treat our friend? Is that
I'm
what
going
you're
to
saying?
treat our friend Takal, but I'm going to start from the very beginning before I get to the laser, actually.
I see. Okay.
So I'll be doing that. So we're going to do what's called VO on pass here. Oh, we're wide awake there. Here we go. And some horses, I'll be back, by the way. I haven't left you, Jason.
You guys are brave going under the horse's neck.
Sometimes they bring their head down, by the way, and they let you know.
Oh, okay. I'm always worried they're going to turn around and just take a little chomp out of me.
They can do that.
But he's probably used to the sound and used to the whole thing, huh? So it's laser, it's not really chiropractic in this
No,
exam.
what I do is not chiropractic.
I see.
I don't do veterinary medicine. I am a chiropractor, but what I do is not really chiropractic either.
Got it.
So it's
Okay.
not in either field. I support wholly what the veterinarian does. And I strongly recommend, like in Takal's case, for example. Before I met Takal, he had been through all of the various testing that the medical doctor, if you will, the veterinarian, they had several looking at him to help with his situation. And so all I'm doing is supporting what they do.
I see.
I'm not trying to take over. That's not my job.
No, I understand, but you obviously are treating in different ways that really complement what they do. That's great.
That's it. That's it, totally it. So what I'm doing is I'm looking for neurological read pattern as I go down through, and you hear that expression just now with them. It's a release.
I see.
I have to wait for the generator here because this instrument draws quite a bit of power compared with the other instruments I use. So I'm waiting.
So Takal, we could interview you and see if you feel it immediately or whether it takes a little time.
Well, the neat thing about the animal, neat thing about these animals is they have a metabolism much faster than the humans, so they respond quicker to treatment. He's checking to see if this is edible.
It might be.
He's going to test it out. Look, he's going to get it in his mouth, and he's going to try it out.
Yeah, nah, it's not the right
Doesn't-
flavor.
Yeah, now he's going to lick it too. No, it doesn't have anything.
No
No,
interest.
that's not it. Strange aftertaste though,
Yeah.
almost like plastic. It's a petrochemical product. So, I'm waiting again. Generator has to catch up with me.
That's good.
We're off the grid here.
Oh,
So, depend upon the generator to bring things around. Enough power to make this function. Sometimes I get 1 or 2 clicks out of it with this. Other times not. And then there's Wally coming into the picture. Can you see Wally?
oh, where's Wally? Oh, there's going behind us.
Yeah, there he goes.
He
wasn't-
greeted us at the beginning. What?
He wasn't walking very straight when I met him.
Oh, wow.
You can ask Jill about that. Jill is his mother.
What do you think, Mom?
About Wally?
Yeah.
Wally's 16 years old, and about 6 years ago he was really crabbing sideways, and I took him in, had him x-rayed, and he had that very much a protruding, disc in his spine, and he's been with me every day for 16 years. He follows, and of course there's sometimes little wrecks.
Well, but he
And,
looks like he's in good shape, though, walking around. So he's had some treatments too, our friend Wally.
Yeah, and when Fred came, he really was, definitely his hip was off to the right, and his right hind leg was kind of hanging definitely out of alignment, and he kind of traveled sideways, and after his first treatment, he was literally all 4 square and walking in line. So this is wonderful that, that can happen with such an old guy with old injuries, so he's got his bounce back in his step.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Are things like you're doing scaled down for humans yet at all, Fred?
What?
Are things like you're doing scaled down for human consumption, or is this specific?
I'll explain that in a minute.
Okay. Yeah, okay.
All right. What I'm doing was actually the creation of a veterinarian, Bill Inman, who's in Idaho, and he discovered one day he had there was a dachshund in his office that was facing disc surgery in the back, very expensive surgery, and he had a friend who's a chiropractor. The owners weren't ready for several thousands of dollars in medical expense that you really don't know the outcome of anyway. And so he asked his friend, "Can I borrow that instrument that you have? Can I borrow the instrument you have, and I'll see what would happen if I use it on this dachshund?" Well, he did that a few times, discovered this took care of it, and that he didn't have to do the surgery.
Wow.
So I'm not suggesting at all that that would be every case, but it did work, and so it put him in the direction of, okay, let's explore this and see what we can do. Subsequent to just using that particular instrument, he came across electronic instruments, like the first thing that I used for animals. This is actually originally a chiropractic device. So chiropractors use this.
I see.
Chiropractors use the vibrocussor that I'm going to use next, okay, which has a percussing action into the muscle tissue. It's quite relaxing for the animal. The lasers came along. This laser, which I need to put on anyway, came along and was passed. It's a cold laser. It's not a surgical laser.
Right.
And this was passed through the FDA. Zirconia laser. It was passed through the FDA for treatment of neck and shoulder pain relief. Right? This was the first clearance that they had. The other laser that I will get to in a little bit is over there,
Right.
the base station, and it does other things.
Okay.
So that I will be getting into this in a minute, but first I'm going to...
You look like you're going into space, getting all your gear on.
Yeah. So most of these devices came out of chiropractic, actually. And this one, I know a chiropractor who uses that one, the first thing that I did use.
Right.
So what we have here is the vibracussor, and you can probably detect that my hand is shaking a little bit compared to not.
Right.
Okay? So we're percussing. This has variable speeds depending upon what tissue I'm working on.
Gotcha.
I'll use different speeds. And what I do also is I can kind of detect where muscles are not only contracted, but where they might be torqued a little bit, and work to relieve that. So we're working down in this part of the spine right now.
What do you think, Takal? You like that, I guess.
I think Takal was the first one that I treated here.
Oh.
Now, here he goes. He's leaning into this, by the way.
Oh.
He is actually leaning against me. I'm just holding it there, and he's pushing against. He likes it.
Well, that's something.
You see the little quivering with his lips.
Uh-huh.
What that is endorphins releasing.
Oh.
It's okay, Takal. You can do that. You're holding that camera.
Oh.
So I'm using the first laser here. I have 8 frequencies that we're putting into Takal's neck here. And this is specifically, we're treating this biophotonic energy. So it's healing, if you will, at the speed of light, which is 186,000 miles per second. Takes a little over 7 minutes for sunlight to reach Earth.
But
Okay.
we're pretty close to this, Takal. So basically the power of it here is it can, the frequency, is that what we're really looking for?
We have coherent light. Okay, sunlight is dispersed.
Right.
But this is coherent light generated by the instrument on a wavelength, and we're pulsing it. We have 8 with this one, 8 different frequencies that we're using.
Right.
It is for muscle, bone, ligament, disc, blood circulation, lymphatic circulation. Everything that goes in here is information
Got it.
for this tissue.
The one thing you taught me last time, which I'm sure is true, is sometimes the light is there to protect us because the laser sometimes doesn't need the light, right? It's power of what it's doing. The color is put in to protect us from...
No. When you get into different... every color has a frequency.
I see.
Okay? You can go on the internet and find out about this.
Yeah. But I
Every
remember...
color has a frequency. It's got, like sounds are frequencies too. Okay, light has, and this is in a certain range, bandwidth, this red light. Okay, this happens to be 635 nanometer wavelength, and we're pulsing. You can probably see it blinking a little bit here and there.
A little bit, yeah.
If the ones you don't see are too fast for the eye to comprehend, to register.
I think it was, maybe then I was thinking about some other different thing, but I could recognize that because of the power of what you're doing, it isn't only what is visible. That's basically more like accurate.
The visible is... Yes, thank you very much. He wants to use the equipment himself.
Uh-huh. No self-treatment to call. Okay.
No, it's not an accident that we're not looking at infrared. We're looking at the visible range.
I see, okay.
As far as the wavelength is concerned, and that's what's giving the light. Red, yellow, green, blue, violet, all vivid colors. Think of them that way. They all have their own frequency. Minute differences when you consider a wave in a nanometer. The wavelength is really short, right? And yet those colors are distinctly different. So now what we're going to do is move over to the other laser in a moment.
Okay.
So what I've programmed into this are 12 different frequencies. We're going to use this base station. I programmed in here.
Oh, so that was the base. Now in your hand is the tool. I got it.
Yeah, that's the base station. These probes plug into that and it's programmable.
I see.
Okay, I have actually, on my computer, I have 85 pages of frequencies for different tissue
Got it.
and or conditions. And I'm not making a claim that I'm treating a condition, but it has been observed that the bodies respond to these frequencies.
Gotcha.
So make sure every one of these is going. And by the way, this one, you may be able to see on here, I don't know. Yeah, if Jill, could you pick that up for me? A paper, right? The paper, yeah, in the back of it. I just want to. So
One
we
sec.
have.
Okay.
All right. So on this particular probe that we're using, these probes are going to give red light. They're in the 635 nanometer wavelength. Okay. You see two different colors here. One of them is red. One of them is violet. The violet laser is 405 nanometers. It has a different purpose. Okay.
Got it.
So we're using all of these on Takal right now. We're using it in this area because this is the area that he's had problems.
Right.
And I have to rig this so that I can hold all of them. Not in one hand, but I'm treating this general area. Jill,
Yes?
how was he this morning when you looked at him compared to the other day?
Slightly swollen, but not nearly as swollen as the last 2 days.
Very good. And by the way, we may be tickling him right now. Yeah, hi. We may be tickling
Did you
him.
explain, Fred, in his condition his head swells up?
No, I didn't.
That's very important.
Yeah. So that's what happens with him. Jill, you can explain your history with him and what has been observed, and I'll pipe in later.
Well, it appears to be like a neuritis, like a trigeminal, nerve inflammation.
Uh-huh.
And again, we have not figured out what triggers it, but yet symptomatically, sometimes all of a sudden his whole head will swell up, including his throat and his neck, and his cheeks will get absolutely huge.
Wow.
And of
So a
course-
swelled head, not a swelled head.
Right. So that
Wow.
there is a lot of
His
inflammation.
cheeks, you can actually...
His
I get-
cheeks are swollen.
Could a
today.
layman like myself see the difference?
Yes.
Really? Wow.
Absolutely. No, it's really significant.
Wow.
And in the last 2 treatments, he was very swollen, and so a lot of one of the lasers is programmed specifically for lymphatic drainage.
Well, what I have in here with these 3 lasers right now is the lymphatic drainage protocol that I'm using for him. And for the guttural pouch here, which is where we have something going on, that's part of this swelling that you see or would see. The other day he was more swollen, and so I treated him twice the other day. I'll treat him twice again today with this laser setup the way we're doing it. Hi.
No wonder you can walk under his neck. He loves you.
that,
Open them.
yeah, they know
All
it
the
too,
horses
but
here, by the way, every horse that is here, you could consider them rehab horses, in that every horse that sort of arrives has maybe one defense after another already set up from their history in life, maybe not being treated well or whatever, and horses are incredibly sensitive, and they sort of put their armor up with
Gotcha.
each little thing. And so when they come to me, I set about to heal their mind, their spirit, and their body so that they can be performance horses. Sometimes it takes a long time. Sometimes it's like a child that is severely injured mentally and has to learn to trust and love. And that can take time. So as a horse trainer, the biggest message I have is patience and persistence, and believe in your horse.
Well, Takal, you are well loved.
Yeah.
and he's relaxing quite a bit right now.
Do you let humans come up here and get treatment with you? You sound like you take a super good care of every one of these guys here.
That's kind of the main focus of this facility, is a healing place for humans and horses.
I see. Wow.
From time to time, I get booked online with an experience which is called the Maui Horse Whisperer Experience.
Right.
And people come from all over the country and internationally. In order to get here to sign up for such an experience, they're open looking for something different, something
Gotcha.
more meaningful about the relationship between humans and horses. And it's a joy for me to use these horses in that way, because now their hearts are so open and they're such communicators that they teach people. And it's my favorite thing to do, since they're all private horses. I can't give riding lessons, but I can use them for something even more important than riding lessons. Show us about ourselves.
That's wonderful. Yeah, it's beautiful here. How long is a treatment generally, Fred, time-wise?
Well,
15
usually,
minutes?
if I'm not talking,
Yeah.
15 minutes, maximum 20 minutes,
I see.
after I get to know the individual.
Gotcha.
But initially, I treated Takal 6 weeks ago initially. And now we've done an intensive this week. This is his 4th day of this week being treated.
I
He
see.
took a day off yesterday, but this is his 4th day.
Gotcha.
And in his case, I don't do it all the time, but in his case with what's going on, historically, we're treating him 2 times today, just as we did 2 days ago.
Gotcha.
And the second treatment is solely with the lazy.
Gotcha.
Right. So we're actually,
So we're finished with you, Takal. We've enjoyed the time here. Yeah, that's a good scratcher. So we're going to follow you anywhere, Fred, wherever you'll take us.
all right.
Gorgeous.
Okay, Jill, who do we have here?
Okay, we have a wonderful grand mare, and her name is Toka,
Okay.
and she's 30 years old,
Wow.
and she's beloved teacher and pet, and is sort of the head mare of the property. Everybody listens to her, and she has a lot of physical disabilities and ailments. Her feet hurt, her shoulders hurt, her hips hurt, her neck hurts.
How can you
And,
tell they hurt? By the way they hold themselves?
Oh, they will show you pain, absolutely.
And
By
do
the
they-
way they move, by the way they hold themselves, by the way they respond to any pressure and in tender areas.
I see.
And horse language is very subtle, so we have to train ourselves to read the subtleties of their expressions in their eyes, their lips, their ears, their attitude.
I see.
And so you actually know quite clearly, if you're used to horses, what effect you're having on them, positive or negative. They're very, very expressive and responsive.
So this is
Treatments.
Toka.
Toka. Yep, and she is an appendix, which means thoroughbred and quarter horse cross, and
You're
she's
getting an
been
education.
rehabilitated a couple of times. She has evidence, if you look on her lips, you can see all this terrible scarring.
Yeah.
So this was the early part of her life when somebody was very cruel with a bit and literally almost cut her tongue in half. It's all scars. has no sensation here anymore.
I see.
So again, I was talking about the history of horses, how they sort of need to be healed and brought into this is good thing with people and we can trust.
That's wonderful. Well, like I said before, I can see it here. These guys love you. That's right.
So she's not a youngster.
She's 30.
Wow.
And you'll see on this, when we start doing this, that each individual responds differently as I do the treatment. And some of them are just skittish when they hear the sound like this.
Mm-hmm.
She might start moving around.
Okay, she's got a limited area, but
Well,
she'll be
I
fine.
don't like to see, I don't want to have the individual feel that they are confined. I want them to feel that they're comfortable and can walk away if they so desire.
I see.
Right? Okay. So, let's go, girl. Let's go. Let's go. That didn't hurt her. The sound is what
Sure.
got her. She's watching what I'm doing.
Yeah, she's good. She seems more used to it now.
Okay. None of this hurts them, by the way.
Right.
Okay. Because of the immense size of a horse, you have to treat them firm. It really isn't necessary. You can be firm with them in a gentle way.
Mm-hmm.
And they'll respond nicely. They're probably, of all the animals I know, the most sensitive in that way, and can have their feelings hurt. Now, when we talk about the laser here, the most physiologically sensitive animal is a kitty, and then horses, and then dogs, and under a rock someplace are people, as far as being sensitive to it. And it's ticklish when we use the laser, if they're sensitive to it.
So people are way down in the list, huh?
No, yeah.
Is that maybe just awareness? Probably so.
No,
No?
this is the body we're talking.
So the
what I'm
kitty
saying.
has the high
Oh,
sensitivity.
I can be this far away with the laser on the back of a kitty, and they'll be twitching, twitching, twitching.
Wow. Wow.
Okay, we did, when I was doing lasering the other day, I'll need someone's assistance.
Uh-huh. Here comes one beautiful assistant now. Here she comes.
First I'm going to go down through the neck, just for the purpose. It's okay, babe. Hello. London Bridge is there. So what I'd like to do is, Jill, if you can come over here, I need to get on the inside. Well, right here, actually. Yeah, okay. And we're going to do, and it was flexion both ways? Both ways, okay. So that you can see this, Jason, what I'm going to do, I'm going to go down here in the fulcrum. I want you to laterally flex her this way. Okay, and then we'll do the other side too. Come around there.
Hi, Toka.
Okay, back up. She thinks she's going to walk down there on the driveway. And I'm going to go over here. And I'll be back over there in a moment. But... Okay. That's good. Did we have, were we not using a carrot the other day on? Okay. Well, when I get to the, it'd be a good idea to plug this in.
So you call this again the
Vibracusser.
Vibracusser?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
That's the official name of it.
Toka likes this one.
Yeah. I can't count on my fingers and toes the number of people here on Maui who have wanted to take this thing away from me.
I bet.
And so I keep it under lock and key. Right, functional lasering means that we're going to, well, we have the laser light on.
Right.
But we're going to come in here, and with my wonderful friend Jill here, she's going to step in, and we have something to get Toka to turn that neck. And I'm lasering the neck. There we go. There we go.
Good flexion. Right?
Yeah, we want
That's
to
good.
see. Your younger horses especially can reach all the way around to the back and, you know, kind of bite your butt, butt. And she's 30 years old.
Yeah. I guess they have to be able to reach the very back.
Sure.
They don't have arms like us.
Right.
Okay. Here, there, Toka.
Functional aid into the tissue, and that's why we'll do this, whether it's an animal or let's say a human.
Right.
I'll do functional lasering, which I can demonstrate to you, but actually we're going for improving this flexibility for Toka.
Right.
And the effects of lasering sometimes will take 2 weeks to show up. Why? I don't know. So I had some reeds down in here, which is why I'm using the laser in the lower back right now.
Got it.
But she's a nice gal for 30. She's older than me.
How do horse years relate to people years?
Nobody ever asked the horse, I don't think.
No, but I mean, for example, a dog of 15 and 16 is quite the elder. What about a horse of 30?
Is pretty much maxed out.
I see.
Now, koi fish is different.
And again, depending upon their treatment throughout their life, whether they're going to live a long and healthy life or a short life.
Right. I just remember that they used to tell me that a dog that's age 8 is like a human age 56.
They used to say for dogs it's like 7 years.
Yeah.
But then how can Wally at 16, that makes him 125 or something?
Well, you know, that's why I'm
That's
mentioning
good.
it. That's exactly what I mean. Right.
Okay, I'm going to my recipe book here right now,
I see.
and I'm going to pull out some.
Muffins? No, no muffins.
Yeah, do we have muffins in here? We're going to put in some frequencies for navicular. You want to explain that, Jill?
The navicular bone is a small bone inside the hoof capsule, located sort of at the back of the coffin bone. And if the horse's conformation is so predetermined, it can get arthritis of that bone, of the navicular bone, which arthritis, of course, makes the surface very rough. And across that navicular bone comes the deep flexor tendon and the suspensory tendon, and they all slide over that joint. So when the surface is very rough, then the horse has a lot of pain with all movement as it's being riveted. And basically arthritic changes to the joints inside the hoof capsule.
So what I did was I put in frequencies here for the navicular. I'm going to first, this is both of them, right? I'm going to come into the front hand here first. What's her hoof growth been like? I mean, she's not a youngster, but what's her hoof growth been
The
like?
hoof growth is pretty rapid. Our
Really?
horses get reshod every 5 weeks.
Okay.
Another physical symptom of sore feet is the fact that this horse has such huge muscling right up here. So instead of being comfortable in her feet, she's been trying to carry herself through her shoulders.
I
So
see.
this is also part of where the chiropractic and the adjustment work really is hand in hand with the problem of the feet, because of course it echoes everything up above.
Thank you.
And in my profession, we talk about the importance of having first shoes that are going to support us, but also the fact that we have 3 arches in the feet, and if any of those are failing, and most people have at least 2 arches that are failing of the 3. It's very small, I think about 5% that have all 3 arches intact. So it affects the whole kinetic chain. The hoof through all these joints are going to be affected all the way up into here, and they're going to make compensations along the
I
way.
see.
So what we're doing is really relieving areas, and the idea is to give the kinetic chain an opportunity to function in a normal way. And as Joe was explaining, this increased muscular appearance right in here. I'm just going to take this. Come on, Dave. Let me have it. I'm going to come in here too. You might say or ask, well, okay, so the light stops at the surface. This is true. But what we are actually doing, in fact, is creating a cascade effect through the tissue as the photon hits the tissue immediately inside, there's a cascading effect through the cellular network on a molecular level. So we're going to affect all this tissue.
Say it again.
Right. So I don't want to bore you with this, but I am actually putting biophotonic energy in specific frequencies for navicular problems. And I've seen some very dramatic effects take place. In some cases in a short period of time, in other cases a longer period of time. And we don't know. Each individual, I'm going to the other side here.
Sure. Clearly, every individual reacts in different time.
See, you notice that I just tapped on her leg and she knew I wanted it. And one has to be willing to stand here and hold this thing too. Fortunately, there are 4 legs, 3 others to hold her up. Not just like a human, if you picked it up, they're going to be tipping over.
Right. She's a non-tipper.
Yeah, but humans don't have navicular bones. Well, sorry about that. They do, but in a different area of the body.
Not in their hoof.
No.
Okay.
Sprinklers on. You have a horse, just a horse's face looking at you.
Hey, Tikal.
Just walk up to him.
Hey, young man. We're a little too close. I can't get him in this screen.
Okay.
Okay, guys, so.
It'll take a couple minutes to. You can
Trying to
turn
act
around.
You might get too close and too personal.
If you want to stand outside for the moment.
Shut the gate. No, it's okay.
Okay.
Shut the gate. And I'm going to put you, will you tell me, safest place in the beginning is going to be that corner down there.
Okay.
Okay.
It's just loving to be off the leash, huh? Kicking legs is just he's happening.
Oh yeah.
See what I mean? It's play.
He's gonna roll now.
But it's wet. Don't do it.
That was for no other reason but he could do it. Just having fun.
Very relaxing for them. They actually immobilize their own spine that way.
Oh. Okay.
Okay. to,
Okay.
basically to review what we have done. You've seen me bring in a few horses here and treat them from beginning to end using different techniques or technologies. First of all, I'm doing what is called VOM, veterinary orthopedic manipulation. I'm not a veterinarian. My background is chiropractic. What I'm doing is neither chiropractic or veterinary medicine. And really I'm here to support the veterinarians in the work that they do. My work does do that. So I do the VOM, veterinary orthopedic manipulation, which is a technique developed by Dr. Bill Inman out of Idaho. And essentially doing the adjusting, if you will, non-mechanical. I mean, it's mechanical, it's non-force as far as manipulation is concerned, so it's not chiropractic. We are getting a feedback loop, a neurological feedback loop from the animal. Then I follow that up with the VetraStim to specifically go after the areas that were involved, and I'm going in there and doing more balancing neurologically, and then the vibrocussor, and finally the laser. The laser is the finest piece of equipment that there is for doing this sort of work, and it just kind of ties things together, reestablishing normal cell-to-cell communication in the areas of the body that that are under question or challenged. And the idea is to reestablish that communication so you get the expression of health. And that really, bottom line, is what we're going after. We'll do more conversation later if you wish, and aloha to everybody, of course. I'm here every 2 to 3 months.
Thank you, Fred, for spending the time with all of us. I'm sure that our viewers, both here on Maui and all over the world, are going to appreciate what they're going to see here.
Well, I certainly hope so, and what we have, of course, is the ability. You can go to my website and see and read about these different things too. All right? Thanks, Jason.
Aloha.
Aloha.
No matter where you go, no matter what you do, take that Maui style with you. Cause if you ain't Maui styling, you just living on an island. Maui styling, don't let me down. 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 There is sunshine in your heart. It's been with you from the start. Lift your head, look to the heavens, then you will feel brand new again. Don't stop me now, Maui styling, don't let me down. 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 Reach out your hand and help each other. Your mother, your father, your sister and brother. There is love in this family. Pick yourself up and get on your feet. Don't stop me now, Maui styling, don't let me down. 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 Makena styling, up country styling, Kaupo styling, Kahanapali styling, Hana styling, Wai'ehu